Hello, welcome to game 4. It's Land Nomad. This is a set map. We're currently at 2-1 to bots. After bots just caused a bit of an upset by winning Nadya's boys' home map, which was Arabia, after Nadya's boys had won the first Arabia team random game. That was the set settings for game 1. So we're going to have a few minutes here whilst the players get going with their build-ups as they find their spots and build their lumber camps and eventually their TCs. So we'll just wait for the players to settle down a little bit and locate their positions before we start to introduce the player lineups. But just looking at the civilizations, have we got a mirror here? No, we haven't. We've got Persians, both have got Persians, both have got Chinese, both have got Mongols. So we've got Mayans for Mentalist and Spanish for Gary. So once again, Bots United are favouring the Spanish and the eventual trade bonus in the late game, whereas Nadya's boys going with a more aggressive pick. In the Arabia game previously, it was Chinese, which considered to be like the best fourth civ there if you want to go really aggressive, but obviously losing out on the trade bonus if you don't have the Spanish. And then in this game you've got a similar situation. Obviously the actual who you pick for the fourth civ is a little bit different because it's Land Nomad, but here we've got the Mayans who often kind of push hard in early imp on these kind of maps, perhaps even sometimes with some sling. So it's interesting, we've got this different dynamic here, and Nabs will, if it develops into a really late game, then bots will have quite a good advantage, and Nabs have got like the ticking clock to try and win this game before the late Imperial age, I would say. So now that players have built all their lumber camps and will be starting to accumulate the wood to drop TCs, let's have a look how things are for each team. I want to find flanks. And this is it. This is the left flank for Nadya's boys. Wonder is playing Persians. He played a great game as Persians against Tyrant on Land Nomad, a game which Nadya's boys won. He's not very far away from all of this food to the west, and although he may end up sharing that a little bit with Miguel there, his direct opponent, and in fact it is quite a bit closer to Miguel. Got 3 balls right here though, which he could share with Pike, I guess. Seems like Wonder and Pike are sort of in between spots, and therefore sharing the spot that's between them, if you understand what I'm trying to say there. Pike playing as Wonder's pocket Mongols. It's a good position for him, right in the deep pocket corner position, and look at all these resources that he has to work with. Mentalist pocket on the other side, in the red, playing as Mayans. He's got a great spot, no worries there. And then quite isolated is Zuppy playing as the Chinese in orange. Against Tyrant, Zuppy did a little bit of a sneak and then got some sling, and it was amazing. Like, he killed 3 or took 3 players sort of out of the game, made so much room for his teammates. A little bit of a bug gold there, but it doesn't really matter. If he explores, there's a lot of gold to the north that he can take, and some to the south as well. And then a long way along this map edge are 2 of the bots players, Nikov in the yellow playing as Mongols, and Gary in the purple playing as Spanish, both with plenty of resources but in close proximity to each other. And then all the way on the other side of the map, so the bots players in clumps of 2 in the corners. Got Miguel playing Chinese in the green. Good spot for him as well. He's got everything he needs. And then we've got Goku playing Persians in the grey colour. And he's quite close to a lot of food, but he's going to end up sharing some of it with Wonder eventually, I think. A pack of balls he's locating over there, although probably impossible to lure those to TC without some really good sheep blocking. And he's got some food over here, but he's kind of sharing a lot of stuff with either Miguel or Wonder. I feel like he's maybe the one who's ended up in slightly the wrong place here. Normally the straggler trees mark the spots, so I'm guessing this is sort of like Miguel's spot here. and then Goku should be more over here, but instead he's a little bit further in and a little bit closer to where Wonder is. We've got Persians against Persians on the left hand side with the flanks, then Chinese and Mongols, and then on the opposite side we've got Mongols and Spanish sort of together versus Zuppy all the way up the map edge as Chinese, and then Mentalists right in this deep pocket position as well as Mayans. I mean, if he did just want to sling instead and they did the sneak thing that Zuppy did in the last game where he snuck and then got sling, that could work. Again with these positions, with the Mayans doing it Mentalist. But equally the Mayans are really good for pushing in the kind of early Imperial age as well, so that may not be on his mind. I seem to remember Mentalist doing that as well in the last game versus Tyrant when I think he got like 100 plumed archers and just kept those numbers. It was pretty crazy. Did that on the Nomad map too. Well, both teams basically have a half of the map to themselves. There's not too much mixing up going on. So they should, if with the right walling, be able to secure trade lines in the late game. And obviously that's really good for the bots team with Spanish. Looking at it though, their trade line would be incredibly messy. We saw in Tyrant versus VNS yesterday a cliff ruined a trade line, and that's what we've got here. Look at this. That's going to be really inefficient later on, so it probably cancel out the Spanish trade bonus, to be honest with you, given that there'll be a lot of bumping, although this can obviously be like siege honored away by the Mongol player if need be to try and make the trade route look a bit better in the late game. Whereas for Nadya's boys, the map edges look pretty clear. You know, there's no cliffs in the way, so that kind of offsets the Spanish bonus a little bit for bots. Let's take a look at some Fog of War for the players and see what they see. Pike's just exploring around him. They probably want to boom there in that position as Mongols. Goku doesn't see Wonder yet with his sheep scouting, although he's done a lot. He's found a lot of resources at least. Miguel pushed out a little bit further. He's found all these dead animals, so he's probably aware that Wonder's there or somebody is. Zuppy not locating anyone except the mill from Nikov, which is quite far from his TC. But Zuppy is realising that he's quite isolated over in that corner. Gary, I'm not seeing too much. Obviously he's in the really deep pocket position as well. Mentalist with a big score right now, and he's scouted a lot of the map. He's also the one who's out there team walling various parts, just blocking up some parts with palisades. Wonder, he's the enemy mill, so he knows he's versus someone down here. And Nikov doesn't really see too much just yet, but he knows Zuppy's up there. So, Nikov saying care with Sneak. I wonder if he watched the Tyrant versus Nadya's boys game. I'm actually going to go on Zuppy's point of view, so in a little bit later I can go on his Fog of War and see if I see a villager. That's actually a sheep. Sneaky sheep. But yeah, they want to wall it up really early. It's quite noticeable that that's what they're doing. They're walling the whole map, so maybe that they are really scared of the sneak. A little bit of a border dispute going on here with Wonder wanting to get this wall and Goku's like, no you don't, I'm going to wall here. Wonder actually blocking in all of those boars. Doesn't fancy trying to get them to his TC with some sheep blocking. It's an incredibly long way, and Mentalist is flaring up where he wants his team wall to be. But if they do that team wall, Nadya's boys, then it leaves the middle area of the map kind of open. Probably a bit easier for bots to take, I guess, and there's a lot of resources, extra resources there. But generally, Land Nomad isn't a map where you are struggling for resources that much anyway. There is a lot of extra gold and stone on Land Nomad, so as long as you find some food and have a good start, you're usually in good shape with sufficient exploration. So Zuppy's up first. Chinese, no surprise. Nikov Mongols up fast as well, along with Pike's Mongols. Then you've got Mentalist, Wonder, Gary and Goku. I feel like I'm missing somebody. No, all players have clicked up. I thought the one player hadn't clicked up. One stable blacksmith for Zuppy with his FC. Hasn't done a sneak at this point. That's still a sheep. And no sneaky villagers. Mentalist, is he on stone at the moment? Market. Of course, see with. Don't see him on stone just yet. Wonder stonewalling already, really close to his TC actually. So they are settling for this sort of team wall across this area, which is quite far back from the middle of the map. But to be honest, they won't care with how much of gold's in the north here. Pike presumably sees all of this. Yeah, good vision of what he needs to know there. Pike Market, Blacksmith, boom, of course. I imagine Mentalist will just boom.
No.
Carry with the market, so don't see any like barracks and stable or anything. Assume he'll just add a blacksmith somewhere if he hasn't already. Hasn't done it just yet. Nikov Market Blacksmith. And 2 stables for Miguel. Interesting. Bloodline scale binding on it. This is looking maybe like Miguel wants to get a sling. Yeah, Miguel is being slung by Gary. So they're going to sling with Spanish and down here. And Gary is so protective. He's basically protected. He's basically behind Nikov. So that's a good spot to sling from. Don't have that many resources down here. Got a couple of gold spots, that's fine. And then slinging on the other side is 8th Wonder, slinging Zuppy. So it's going to be sling wars to the Chinese players. So both Chinese Civ players are going to be receiving sling. They're both doing the same upgrades. We saw Miguel get scale binding and bloodlines. Zuppy's doing the same. But Miguel is in the Castle Age already. And isn't just yet moving out. Only one knight on the field. Actually, no, more than one, but still at home for now. But they will run into a full Nadya's Boys team wall, of course, and likewise, Zuppy, when he gets moving, will run into a full bots team wall. So both players that are receiving sling will have to add siege to break through the enemy walls. But my guess is they probably won't get terribly far at pushing against each other, although Zuppy's certainly going to try. And initially he'll be trying to break down the walls of Gary, who is the guy doing the sling down here, but Nikov, obviously the first line of defense. Funny to see the starting scout with +1 armor as they go for a scout war. We don't normally have that, and bloodlines as well. And Gary is just confirming that the edge of the map is secure there. Couple of knights for Miguel and Zuppy coming together in the middle of the map, and it looks like Zuppy is going to be the one who takes the initiative because Miguel was up a tiny bit faster, but yeah, he didn't really have a target in mind. Whereas Zuppy was just like straight away, I'm going to go down this map edge and I'm going to hit this wall. So he came forward with the siege workshop straight away. He's going to add a monastery, and that's going to work out really well because we can already see Miguel going with some camels to fight against Zuppy, and the monastery, the monks, are a good response to that.
Yes.
Gary's going to just keep re-walling behind. Try and buy some time against Zuppy, who's getting +2 armor now. Is it already done for Miguel? No, it's not. So a little bit of an advantage there for Zuppy. As well as those camels being in the equation, but Zuppy has a lot more knights here, and the monks should be about to pop out by now. 2 monks in queue actually. Zuppy will be keen to keep this mangonel alive through this fight, because that it would represent like a pretty big slowdown on his push to lose the mangonel right now, and that is exactly what's happening. He's going to make a new one. And that just gives Gary a bit more time to just keep building more walls. And even Nikov wants to... Is he doing an extra layer of wall behind eventually? Or is he just going to tell Gary to delete the walls just in front of the gate? I don't know. See what's going on elsewhere on the map. Goku... just booming. Wonder is obviously slinging. Pike is just booming. Mentalist is just booming. So let's return to the action. Or, well, there's not that much action because Miguel's gone home. Zuppy's got too many knights and monks there. Nikov is obviously having to help out to defend Gary's walls a little bit, so he's adding a mangonel and doing... I'm not going to call it walling. Tactical gate. And Miguel is obviously the one receiving sling, and he's fighting against Zuppy right now whilst doing eco at home as well. He's on 48 vills. Zuppy are lagging behind on 43 a little bit. He did the earlier siege workshop, so I guess he added TCs late, and I think he's 1 TC behind Miguel. In fact, I'm not sure. No, maybe he's not. I could go to the point of view to check. But... right, armies re-engage up here. Miguel is now full camel, so Zuppy's just doing mostly camels as well for his reinforcements, and obviously the couple of monks there make a difference. Not adding more mangonels just now, and 2 mangonels still take quite a long time to break through a wall. Wonder's actually trying to get himself a lot more area as well, trying to do a massive wall all the way across there, but it's a good idea. Slinging with Persians.
Yes.
They don't have... I think they have the weakest stone walls. So any extra layers you can do, any more space you can claim, and any more time you can buy for yourself is good in case you get pushed on a bit later. So Zuppy's through that first layer. There's a mangonel on the hill there though for Nikov, and will he get like a 2-for-1, 3-for-1 shot here with the hill bonus? No, he doesn't. 2 shots from Zuppy nail him right there. So I'm just looking to see if there's a spot where there's only 1 layer of wall that they could go through, but it doesn't appear to be. Even on these corners, there's 2 layers everywhere. So Zuppy will be frustrated a while longer there. He's getting redemption on his monks to try and convert any more mangonels that are behind the wall. Not lose any more mangonels and slow down his ability to break down. But as is being discussed in the chat, and as I mentioned earlier at the start of the game, the fact that this was getting into a kind of static team wally game, trade bonus being there for the team with Spanish, that team being Bots United, can be a decisive factor. I'm looking at these purple walls. I don't know how Gary got out there, but that's quite nice just to wall Zuppy in a little bit. I wonder if he'll try and get a sneaky one across here too, because that would be hilarious. But it's going to deny Zuppy from pushing down that side of the map, although there aren't any extra resources out there to take really apart from. Okay, 1 gold pile that he won't have access to. Loads of camels behind the wall though for Miguel. Quickly scroll player point of view. Mentalist is about to go up. Does he have a castle at this point? No, he doesn't. So, wonder if he's going to add those in later. He's heavily on stone, so he should add castles afterwards. He's clicked up. Goku's clicked up as well. And Zuppy is in, but he's going to find 20 camels and a castle on a hill awaiting him. And he's taking loads of damage on those knights there. Backs away just in time. If he'd carried forward for even half a second more, all of those knights would have been hit by like 20 camels. But even as they try and make the way out, a whole bunch get slaughtered. Zuppy just lost a lot of knights quite senselessly there. Only a fraction of a second of not paying attention to them as they ran through, and a lot of kills. And now, really, he doesn't have much to stop him from losing all those mangonels as well. There's 5 monks there, I guess, but Miguel does have a lot of camels. And I'm still struggling to tell, but I think Miguel's winning that. Even the 5 monks, oh, I don't know. I think if the monk's faith had come back and just done another round of conversions, Miguel would have suddenly found himself with very few camels there. So it was actually probably a good decision to go back. But what I think is that he got his money's worth by charging out with those camels there. Zuppy's up to the Imperial Age as well, as is Pike, who's on multiple castles, so he's getting ready to go Mangudai mode. Miguel up to Imperial, minute behind Zuppy. Goku is there, so he'll probably be getting ready to push against Wonder. He's already got Siege Workshop, lots of stables, and he's going to be trying to push in against the other Persian opponent. But Wonder's already got quite a few layers of walls. That's not open. It looked for a second like it was to me. Feels like Mentalist went Imperial Age way earlier than he was actually ready to do anything with the Imperial Age. Like, he went Imperial Age and he's building castles now. Although I guess it's fine to get eco grades as well, whilst you're building those, if you can afford to go up earlier, and you can actually make the military. Just for a second I thought that was actually going to be one of the bots players through the walls, through the gates, sorry, of Wonder. Pike with Mangudai there, going to take down those rounds from behind the wall, and Wonder gets a double layer. It'll be really hard for Goku to push through there really quickly, so good little defensive play by Nabs there. Miguel's going to be the one who gets the slightly more fortified walls there, after killing Mentalist Villager behind there. Don't know what with. There's no military in the vicinity. Let's go back down here. Zuppy's starting to add forward camels now, so he's going to go for that forward camels. Well, he has got forward camels. He's getting heavy camel and he's adding forward castles, so starting to go for eventually Chukonu Transitioner, but also a Tread War to start off with against the castles of Nikov. But I guess Nikov might be able to run forward and snipe with Mangudai a little bit. Already got 6 or 7, but he's not producing trebuchets yet, so giving Zuppy a moment to get ahead in the Tread War. These camels from Miguel are not going to be able to go out there and assist under the fire of all those castles, of course. That's a trade market. That must have been the feudal market for Gary, but he already put it there in like the perfect spot for trading later on. It's always nice if you've got a map where you can do that, like you're close to the map edge and it doesn't delay you too much to put your market there. Bot's already thinking about trade on the north edge. The markets for Nabs, that is ugly. Mentalist, you don't want to trade through there. This Tread War is continuing. Nikov is just repairing the castle. Nothing really happening too much at the moment. And these cliffs are pretty ugly for trade as well. So, I don't know, they're not going to be able to get too many markets there. I guess they could go here as well, but they might have to bring their markets in a bit from the map edge as well. So, even though that horrible cliff is there, the trade's going to be so much better with the bots with the Spanish as well. Gary is still slinging and sending most of it to Nikov now. He actually didn't send that much to Miguel in the end. He sent 3.5k. Zuppi has received the entirety of the sling from Wonderler, so the Mongol player for bots is going to Nikov is going to be in a much better position than Pike is, because Pike hasn't received any sling from his teammate. It's all gone to Zuppi, whereas Nikov is getting that sling. But right now he's on elite normal Mangudai, so no elite, no bracer, no armor really, and Pike is the one who's got the upgrade. So even with the sling going to Nikov, the fact that Nikov perhaps was preoccupied with walling and doing a mangonel and stuff like that slowed down his boom in comparison to Pike. Zuppi though, losing 2 castles here, that's pretty big. Those trebs on the hill at a slightly higher elevation than the castles took them down easily, and now those camels having to bail out as the Mangudai come forward, and also a heavy camel from Nikov, and Zuppi is cleaned up, his push is dead, or rather at least he's gone into full retreat, but considering he wanted to make the Chukanu transition, losing 2 castles immediately is really bad. He's on 0 castles right now, and he doesn't have any more production, and he can't upgrade his current Chukanus either. Mentalist's going to come forward and try and carry the torch on the right hand side for Nadya's boys. Elite Plume's almost fully upgraded with the rest of the upgrades coming in, but versus Mongols, going to be a hard time once the Mongols get their siege. See how this is progressing. Pike is facing off against full Paladin and Siege Ram from Goku. He can take some nice hit and run fights, but he doesn't want to just stand there getting shot, not shot up, well, attacked by and swarmed and surrounded by the Paladins. But he does have a good number of Mangudai, and that's proving important at the moment. But Chukanu are loading from Miguel 8+6, just elite and some armor upgrades missing, but rocketry already done. Interesting choice of rocketry ahead of elite there. Not really sure where the consensus lies on that. Obviously elite is really good because of their creation speed, and I believe number of hours as well. I feel like it might be worth a little bit more than rocketry, to be honest. Do first or eco-dependent. But yeah, Nikov's looking strong now. He's just playing ground, mopping up all of Zuppi's forward building. Zuppi, I was just thinking to myself, if he loses all these houses, he's going to get housed, but he's got so much population room at the moment. But Nikov is into the back of Zuppi's base already. Almost missed that. He hasn't done too much damage yet. He's killed a few villages, but there's no trade to speak of to actually kill. But it means that Nabs can't start the trade, really, which is a problem. Gary is trading, yes, I think, along with Miguel.
Please.
Or is Gary trading? No, I don't think they are. I think he's just spreading out. Sorry, just replying to the chat here. But yeah, they're going to clean up the units in the back of Zuppi's base, and that is a lot of plumed archers and heavy camels to try and get the Mangudai. They'll take the hill, but ultimately they should go down without putting too big a dent in this army from Nadya's boys here. The heavy camel is actually making short work once they close the distance. But nonetheless, Zuppi adding in his next castle after already losing 2 and going down to 0. This is his only one that he has now, and he's about to lose this one as well. 3 trebs in the back. Repairing it frantically, but I don't think that castle will live. Nikov doesn't have that much army here, but he's got some Mangudai. The heavy camels are there from Miguel. He's got Siege Onaga, fantastic weapon in the fight against the Mayans, Blue Archers and Mentalist. Nikov's going crazy telling Miguel to deal with this, I think, because Mentalist wants to ram through, but he doesn't have that much to get in with. 1 siege ram and 15 plumes, not a terrible amount. Meanwhile, the fight continues apace in the north, and Pike looks like he's playing out of his skin here, considering he's more or less versus 2 right now. He's versus the Paladins of Goku, and he's versus the Elite Chukanus of Miguel, but the Mangudai and Siege Onaga combination is proving to be brilliant at the moment. His kill to death ratio is great, 120 to 55, and The only problem for him is that he's running to 2 castles now and he hasn't only 1 treb in the back, so it's going to give Bot's team a little bit of time to regroup and remass there, because Pike isn't going to be slaughtering them too fast. On the right though, Nikov is looking scary. Half a dozen siege onagers, but not that many Mangudai actually. He did just lose all of these Mangudai in the back of the base there, where we see all those corpses, and actually these heavy camels and plumes can do a lot of damage to those Mangudai. It just depends on the SO shots, see if they can turn the tide. It's such a great force multiplier against Mayans. And those heavy camels will destroy some siege. Whoa, big shot! And Mentalist just lost all of his army here. The heavy camels get ripped up by the Mangudai, and oh my god, if those carried on running, the shot would have accidentally killed all of the plumes. And Nikov's in good position again to push. Zuppi lost his castle. The score's flip-flopping backwards and forwards, but that engagement put Nikov further into the lead and caused Bot to take the overall score lead. Again, keep speeding up again. Just try and make it run a little bit slower. Pike still with 1 treb, but the second's rocking up now. He's got a scary number of Mangudai, but he doesn't have much siege. And Chukonu and Paladin can fight against that, I feel. So let's return back here. Nikov on a nice hill. Mentalist doesn't dare approach this army with just those squishy looking plumed archers. And Zuppi's kind of behind the wall, cowering with some heavy camels, which will get ripped up by Mangudai pretty fast. I'd like to see Nikov with 10 more Mangudai here. That would be the killer for me, and he's kind of doing it now. Mentalist going into spread formation, almost as if he dares to actually go in against these siege onagers. I think that would be insane. He's going into Elite Eagle Warriors, Eldorado, +2/+2 for now, with +4 armor coming in. But he may be able to get to some of the siege onagers and take them out there, but it'll still be at great losses. And I don't know how successful that would really be. Meanwhile though, Pike, broken through the wall. He's kind of in the trade of bots right now, but there's not that. He did get a good number of cards, but there's not that much trade to kill just yet. But the issue is Goku is here with like 7 paladins. That is not enough. This is 20 Mangudai. And Miguel's coming with a lot of Chukonu now, and these Mangudai should be somewhat damaged. That's more than 20 Mangudai. Holy crap, Pike could be here for a long time to come yet. The Mangudai, is he going to just take the fight and then just carry on shooting trade carts? He's going to do a little bit of micro, try and get some extra carts before engaging the Chukos. Might even want to just take this hill here, because that would shut the trade down and take the fight against the Chukos. At least until Paladins come from Goku. Is he going to go and just take the hill? He's still taking down carts. This is great for Pike and Nadya's boys, because the Spanish trade bonus would be kicking into effect now if they hadn't just lost like 20 carts. Focusing here a little bit too long, so I want to see how Nikov's doing. Looks like he just lost all the siege onagers. Took a big fight with the heavy camels there, but eagles, plumed archers and heavy camels pushing him back. So Nab stabilising on the right hand side, and Pike doing good damage to the trade line, and a lot of army killed as well on the left hand side. Paladins coming for Goku now are enough to win that fight against the Mangudai, but the Mangudai is so fast, so adept at just running around and just picking off random targets. Like, he'll probably just press stop now and take off another trade cart while he runs. There we go. And those Mangudai are going to be really annoying if Pike invests in a lot of micro there. Let's have a look at the front. Wonder stops slinging now. He's going to do Paladins. And Paladin plus Mangudai here is going to be really difficult, because that's going to be better than the Paladin plus Chukonu. Nikov's sending over some SO to help, but how well is he handling the right hand side if he's also sending siege onagers to the left? He has got resources for days though, so he'll be able to continue adding those in. Good siege onager shot there. Light cab's coming from Zuppi. Bit odd, but maybe he's got no gold to mine, and his trade is yet to get established. Let's go to his point of view. Yeah, just not really producing trade carts from all of the markets, and he has no gold mines. So that's why we see Light Cav from Zuppy. He's trying to get a castle back on that hill though. Maybe he'll finally get elite for his chucks, but he's only got, oh no, 2 castles now. That's a weird fight for Nikov to stand there under the hill taking that. But especially when he's got siege on, because I guess his attention was taken just for a moment. Good job pushing out here actually. I expected once the Wonder Paladin upgrade was done, which is actually still on the horizon yet, Pike and Wonder will be pushing here, but look at Miguel with the Chukonu and Nikov's siege on is doing a good job of holding Pike there. Let's go to Pike's point of view. I want to see if he's still got those Mangudai loose in the back of the base, but I'm on military view and he has not, so this is all of Pike's army and he's taken heavy losses there. His population's down quite a lot, only 30 military, and so once again it swings back and forth. Bots stabilising the left hand side pretty nicely now, good siege on shots, and Nikov is pushing again on the right. He doesn't care about having those Mangudai under the castle because he just wants to get that castle down with his trebs in behind along with the siege onagers. So Bots getting the advantage again now. It did flip-flop a tiny bit. I think Nabs did regain the school lead briefly, but the longer it goes on, the trade is what will matter for Bots United, aided by that Spanish bonus, and they're saying let's siege onager all this away and clean this up a bit. They could siege onager that would really help, along with this, to really get that trade route going. It's lucky better for them if they do that. Pike, where is your military? Okay, he's going home. They're feeling a little bit scared to be out in the open there. Wonder's having to make some light cabs and presumably eventually hussars as well. So Nadya's boys all over the place are really struggling for gold because we see Wonder doing light cav, we see Zuppy doing light cav, and let's just scroll resources for the Bots team. 300 for Miguel, 200 for Miguel, 300 for Goku, Gary 400, but Nikov, last time I checked, okay, he's quite low. He must be producing everywhere, but that trade should really start to mount up for them. They did lose a lot of carts a little while ago, so I guess that's why they're all quite low temporarily, but Nabs don't have that good trade at all. It's very messy. And they don't have any more carts than Bots. In fact, they have fewer carts and they don't have the Spanish bonus. Mentalist is trying to push down the middle. Pike's SO is trying to open it so that it can run in and raid with eagles, but there's a lot of walls there. Some weird cart packing from Nikov. They want to go through somewhere, but actually if they can get plumes to the trade, that's what they're trying to do. But no joy just yet. Nikov's still clinging to this important hill, which allows him to kind of control the front line between Mentalist and Zuppy and push in against both of their bases. A lot of camel balls coming out, and if those Mangudai get distracted shooting at eagles, the camels could do good damage against the Mangudai. Nikov is just going to stand there and take the fight, though there's not really that many eagles to distract the Mangudai's fire, but Halbs, the odd Halb, the odd camel getting to the Mangudai, doing good damage of course. They're not going to kill the Mangudai, but or rather they're not going to kill off this entire army with the odd one, but every Halb hit helps. That's like half a Mangudai going down in terms of HP. Wonder meanwhile is into the trade of Bots along with Pike. Once again, this has been a real vulnerability for them in this game. They've SO'd through here. That was a pretty flimsy looking bit of wall that Bots could have foreseen, that, not wall, forest, that Bots could have foreseen them coming through, and once again Pike is in there killing carts. About 20 carts have gone down, I guess. They've had to stop the other ones as best they can. They are cleaning it up now. There's only mostly light cav from Wonder, and Goku's got enough paladins, but the Spanish trade bonus for Bots is not going to pay off if they keep losing 20 carts every 5 minutes. And Mentalist is here now. He's getting all of them. Where is the army reacting to this from Bots United? I don't see it. I'm going to go through their points of view quickly. Nikov has all his military on the front. Goku has it all up here. And I just don't see any reaction to this from Bots United. They're going to die. The trade is completely stopped and they've lost like half the carts. At least they've stopped those. But this is a massacre. Nikov says gold, please. Yeah, you'd be so lucky. You have no trade, mate. And finally, Gary is doing some Cavaliers, but he's not got that many. And there's a lot of plumes from Mentis if they group up. Okay, Goku's going to finally clean it up. But how many trade cards do they have now? Must be like 25 for Miguel, 12 for Zuppi, 34. No, that's Mentalist. Nikov 17. It's nothing. They've got like 60 trade cards for the whole team now. And GG. Trade's over. So, fantastic job. Trade raiding. Wins the game. I feel Bots have got that without the trade raiding that took place. But Pike got in here twice at least. Mentalist, meanwhile, got through the middle. And just being hard and fast to the trade won the game when every sign was pointing towards Nikov rolling everybody over here with Spanish trade backing him up, and they looked like they were holding Pike. Awesome play by Nabs. They got out of a tough situation there, going to the late game against Spanish trade. Oh, 2-2. What's the next map? It is Tombolo. So the map contest first place, created by the tournament administrator. No fishy business there, Kappa. That joke is not going to get old. So we're now into a best of 3 to decide who goes out of Clan Masters. That's pretty cool.